Hey, guys and girls, welcome back to a special edition to the Cameron Savage Show. We got a lot to talk about. Of who got signed this past month, and a couple of interesting stories coming up right here on your number one podcast, the Cameron Savage Show.
Here's Brees. In season history, the Patriot teammates. Brady play action. Third option. End zone. Gronkowski again with the touchdown. Hold on, there's a flag. Jim, this is going to be a touchdown. I think Kansas City held again on the other side of the There's the fake, there's the pass, and there's the catch for the touchdown. Antonio Brown. The winger. Fournette. Touchdown. Tampa Bay. With you. Come on now. Let's all celebrate and have a good time.
Well, guys, it's the Cameron Savage Show, and that was the Super Bowl 55, and that's the Tampa Bay Bucs defeat the Chiefs 31-9. That was a game that was like the horriblest game there was in the Super Bowl 55 history. If you look at it this way, Tampa Bay just destroyed the Chiefs. They have no choice, guys. But y'all were right. We kind of lost that. We back then. That was last month. That was the end of that era. Now we start a new era of 2021 season. Guys, Scott, Polk, let's talk about this whole signee thing. We're talking about the Cardinals got the J.J. Watt saga. And nothing about Deshaun Watson that's might stay in Houston, but guess who also signed for that position for the running back? Mark Ingram's going to Houston Texans. So guys, let's go talk about the Texans and why is you lose one person from 10 seasons, 10 years from your defense, from your league. You've been there for years. Now you got rid of him. He went to Cardinals, best place in the world right now. And you signed in Mark Ingram for maybe a year or two in a running defense. In the running offense, what's going on here?
Well, right now, guys, with the Watson thing and J.J. Watt leaving and stuff, for one, the team's in full rebuild. What that tells me is no one wants to be a part of that organization. Watson wants out. The team's prepared to let him sit. So I don't think he's going anywhere. J.J. Watt is ring chasing. You don't want to sit around and, continue to watch a team rebuild. Right now, Mark Ingram signing is nothing great.
They re-signed him, re-signed, David Johnson. I guess they're just going to go with the running game because – my opinion, I think Deshaun Watson, if he doesn't go anywhere else, I think he's going to sit for the season. That's my opinion on that.
Yeah, you have to go with the running game if you don't have a quarterback, right?
Exactly. So that's why Mark Ingram is over there at the Texans. And, David Johnson as well, they re-signed him. But, if you don't have your star quarterback playing, what are you going to do? You're going to run consistently. J.J. Watt is tired to be at a rebuilding season with the Texans. I mean, he's been doing it pretty much his whole career over there. Once they get something going over there, then, they want to give up their star players. And he had enough of it. He's tired of it. He still has, a lot of juice left in him. If Arizona uses him right and not play him down at every down over there, in Arizona, he's going to be dominating over there. So, Arizona's defense is starting to look good, and they had a spark in the beginning of the season with Kyler Murray and Hopkins. But, the draft and also free agency, if they're going to do something, they need to get another wide receiver out there to help out DeAndre Hopkins out there.
So let's talk about another news.
J.J. Watt was the most double-teamed defensive end last year, and you got Hassan Reddick coming off the other side, so that defense is going to look really stout. And all the players are leaving Houston and meeting up over there in Arizona.
Exactly. And, the talks for, J.J. Watt, nothing was mentioned about Arizona. It was a lot of, him going playing at Pittsburgh or Cleveland, but it was DeAndre Hopkins that called him and told him, hey, come play with us. We got something special going on over here. And that's where JJ went.
Everybody's seen him following his brother to Pittsburgh, and I'm sure that's great. But wow, the Cardinals could be something special. They're just missing, like you said, another receiver. Maybe a goal line back, because Kenyon Drake didn't really work out last year.
Exactly.
But yeah, they're stout.
Yeah, they're looking good over there. So, Cameron, major news has popped up today. Two things from the Saints. Tyson Hill got signed for 4 years, $104 million, free up some cap space. So what's that mean? Well, Drew Brees has officially retired today. What's your thoughts and opinions about that?
Yeah, I could figure he would retire. I mean, look, guys, he's been doing it for almost 20 years. It is time for him to retire. I mean, he did a lot of things for the Saints that, he did a lot for the city of New Orleans when they had that Hurricane Katrina tore up the city of New Orleans. And what he really did was pretty awesome was he bought his own money, went to these faculties where the guys can practice and get ready for the season. That was a season I never forget. When I lived in Louisiana at that time, we were not in that storm, but we were in the other storm from Rita. But I always remember that year, it was always like flashed in my mind that he did a lot of things for that community in New Orleans. He did a lot of things for the team. He brought the players with him to different sites where they can practice and get ready for the season. And that season was pretty much, there was not a lot of, excitement or whatever. It was like they kind of had a losing season. And the final season after that, they had a Super Bowl winning team. In other news today, Packers has signed Aaron Jones 4 years, $48 million. Guys, I'm telling you, he's going to be a beast this year, and he's going to be the beast in the next 4 more years.
Well, Aaron Jones is a good part of that organization over there. I'm actually surprised that Green Bay did re-sign him. I actually thought he was going to go a good chance to go to Miami, and I was hoping that he would. But he agreed to those terms with Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers is going to have his guy back there in the backfield again, so to help him out. What Green Bay is needing desperately is they need to go in the offseason or in this upcoming draft, they need to get a second wide receiver. They need to get somebody that helps out Devontae Adams. Look, Aaron Rodgers, to me, he's the complete quarterback. I think he can do damage if he had another person over there. I mean, let's face it, Lazard. I think he's going to be an upcoming great wide receiver, but he should be more dominating into the slot. He's got that speed. They just don't utilize him yet. MVS, it's either he's going to catch a touchdown run or he's going to drop the ball. Robert Tonyan, Aaron Rodgers finally found that tight end that he's needing. He does what he can, but they got to have more weapons out there for Aaron Rodgers to for him to succeed a little bit more. If they're ever going to go to the Super Bowl again, they're going to need somebody else to help Devontae Adams out over there instead of him dumping off to Aaron Jones and hoping for the best. What they really need to concentrate over there in Green Bay is let's get an offensive line, but also we need another wide receiver out there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I want to jump back a few. You're talking about Taysom Hill signing.
Yeah.
The team has announced that Jameis Winston is possibly going to be the starter. So it's crazy with the Taysom Hill contract. They're 4 years, but those 4 years are voidable. I'm not quite sure what all that means, but it did free up like $7 million in cap space to help them out because they're way over the cap. That Aaron, it really blows my mind. I really thought that they were going to let him go because they drafted guys. They have other guys that they liked. So I thought, Aaron Jones was going to walk, possibly get his payday over there in Miami. That's where everybody wanted him to go. That's where I wanted him to go.
I wanted to go too, Polk.
But what is it? $12 million a year, 4 years, $48 million. So he's not. I mean, he's getting paid, but it sounds like he took a team-friendly deal to stay in Green Bay. Like I said, I worry that his snaps are going to be limited to an extent. He's going to be more of the pass-catching back versus, they want to get that a couple of those guys in from last year, maybe pound the rock a little more with them. Maybe they have a rotation. So tamper your brakes on maybe drafting him as high as, you did the years past. I had him last year. He did great for most of the year, but you definitely seen some of those carries leak away from him. So,
absolutely. Another breaking news today: Tyreek Hill was signed, which amazes me that they got to a negotiable contract with him as much as Kansas City paid Patrick Mahomes this past year. What do you think about that, guys? They signed him for a 4-year deal on that one. You think that are they going to be able to sign Travis Kelce when his contract comes up?
They just let go of both their tackles. So I guess they have money to sign some of those other players. But, that's what scares me. I think Tyreek Hill just got a deal a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So,
they re-signed again. So, with a better contract. So, I don't understand that situation over there right now. I don't know what they're trying to do over there.
They're going to have to do something. I mean, they're definitely going to be weaker at tackles. Either they go in the draft and get somebody or free agents. Those guys were top tier.
Absolutely.
They were some of the best tackles in the game. So it's crazy to see them leave. It's going to be interesting because I fear that, the way the Super Bowl played out without those tackles in, that's how a lot of these games are going to play out next season. And
absolutely. I totally agree. So my next subject I want to touch, guys, is, there was a lot of quarterback signing this past month. As we all know, Matthew Stafford going to St. Louis, Jared Goff going to Detroit, Carson Wentz going to Indianapolis. Dak finally gets signed with the Cowboys with a $66 million signing bonus. What do you think about that, guys? I mean, who's got the better end of the deal? And let's remember, Dak's still not happy with that contract. So do you think the Cowboys will trade for him? Because, at one point, Russell Wilson wanted to come to be a Cowboy. You think that's still going to happen? Or, Dak's just going to play his 4 years in Dallas? What do you think about all those quarterbacks that I just mentioned? And what do you think, who got the better deal on that?
I really think the Rams made out. Matthew Stafford is the toughest. That's not a word I use for quarterbacks, but he is the toughest QB I've ever seen play. The dude's got an absolute cannon. It's an upgrade and a half from Jared Goff. So I really think he's going to do well over there. Russell Wilson, he wants to go, but we just signed Dak. There's no way that Seattle's going to be able to eat that contract. So it's going to be interesting. Dak's going to play his 4 years, I think, and we'll see Russell Wilson probably work it out in Seattle, and it'd be awkward next year.
Did you like that signing?
Coming off the injury, that Dak's played great. He's definitely played better than I've expected him to play. I think he got paid a little too much without a playoff win. So, that's where my concerns lie, especially, he hadn't won a playoff game, and then, he missed most of last year. So, I would have rather him taking a little bit more team-friendly contract, but he doesn't seem to be that type of guy. So, he got the money. Now he's got to go earn it,
I agree with you on that. What do you think about Carson Wentz going to Indianapolis? You think he's going to be revived over there? He's going to play like he used to when he first started with Philadelphia, or is he going to tank?
He's back with Frank Reich, so that's great. He had his most successful year with him. The thing is he's making a lateral transition to me as like wide receiver. Now he's getting a lot better line, but the wide receiver core is about the same that he had with Philadelphia. A lot of injured guys. Maybe Pittman pans out, maybe he don't. T.Y. Hilton I think is on the wrong side of 30. So
T.Y. they did not franchise him, so he can go and explore free agency. So that's something right there to look at.
They're not going to franchise T.Y. T.Y.'s too old. You're not going to pay him as much as the top receivers getting paid in the league right now. They're probably going to work something out. I feel like he's going to give him something team friendly. He's been there his whole career. He's dedicated. He loves the Colts. Maybe he could get paid somewhere, but I don't see it. Again, he's too old. A lot of these receivers, once they leave their team, Emmanuel Sanders, Demaryius Thomas, excuse me, guys like that, they get, less money than what they would have gotten staying with the team. And maybe, he's not a part of the team's future plans, but he has the best chance of success in getting a decent contract if he stays with the Colts and maybe tries to hammer something out. Again, that team's going to need receivers. So I don't know if Carson Wentz, is going to have a great year this year. Like I said, he's got the O-line. Marlon Mack is coming back. Maybe they, work something out with him. And they got Jonathan Taylor running the ball. So maybe it's a lot of play action and running off of that, but he still don't have receivers that, he hasn't had in a couple of years. So
absolutely. Cameron, what is your thoughts about these quarterback signings? In your opinion, who do you think got the best deal of them all?
Well, with Dak Prescott, I think with a 4-year contract and with $160, I think $160 is $160 mil is a little bit too much. I mean, I'm not saying it was a good sign. You never know his health if he go get hurt again. And you never know, he did it again last year, hurt his leg, and he may not return. He did last year. So, I'm just saying for that reason. Number two, I think Carson Wentz is going to the Indianapolis. I think that's a good deal because now he's taking over Phillip Rivers, and he has, I think, T.Y. Hilton still there. So, if it's T.Y. still here in Indianapolis, but I think by the best deal who went out of it all this year through this off season, it has to be the Rams because with Matthew Stafford and with the organization they have, I think it's going to be a better team with him in there than Jared Goff because I think Matthew Stafford got more of a better ideal playmaking ability than Jared Goff did when he was with the Rams.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys both hit it just right on the nail. Polk, you mentioned that his stamina. I mean, this guy plays hurt, and he gets pissed when he has to get off the field and not play. the Lions, I just don't understand their organization. How they brought Matthew Stafford. They said, this is our guy. He's going to take us to the playoffs. He's going to take us to the Super Bowl. Yet they didn't build around him like he should. Yes, he had Calvin Johnson. He had Roy Williams. But what else did he have? I mean, all he has is T.J. Hawkinson right now, or did, over there. Galladay, they didn't franchise him. So he's out there as a free agent. They let Marvin Jones go. How many times are you going to rebuild your team? And to me, with that team, you got to start off with an offense. Build your line so you can have a running game instead of having 2 yards negative yardage, 1 yard here, and then you're 3rd and 9, and you got to throw it down the field. Hopefully get a first down. So, I mean, the whole time, this organization, I mean, even when they had Barry Sanders there, they didn't have anything else. So what does it have to take for that organization to realize, hey, it starts with the offensive line. Let's get somebody to help our quarterback out. Let's go on the draft. I just don't understand that team. I feel bad for Matthew Stafford then, but now he's in a great organization. He's got some players on his team. And Sean McVay is going to be he's going to love Matthew Stafford over there. And, watch out for these guys over there.
Scott, I think we can all agree who got the worst end out of all those trades, right? It's going to be the Lions. They got Jared Goff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, why would you trade for Jared Goff? I mean, I don't understand that. I mean, you're taking a step back. I don't understand that. I don't get it.
I think they took a jump back.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I just don't understand what their thought process was. And they gave up a first round and a second round for 2022 to the Rams. That just blows my mind. I mean, that sounds like something that Houston, Texas would, what they did last year. I just don't get that.
Yeah. Now, they're getting a younger quarterback. Goff definitely has less years than Stafford, so he's going to play a little bit longer. But, like you said, they're trading draft picks. It's crazy because this team's in rebuild mode. They signed their coach for 10 years.
Yeah.
They want to base it off the run, but they don't have the pieces. They've never been able to get those pieces. Like you said, they've had some of the best players in NFL history. Barry Sanders, hands down, one of the best running backs ever, retired early. Calvin Johnson, one of the best receivers I've ever seen play the game, retired early. And from what I understand, Stafford came to the team and he said, I want a chance to win. You are rebuilding. So I think the trade they were doing him a favor. But wow, they shot themselves in the foot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're going to have another losing season. In my opinion, for 2022, they're going to be, the first pick of the draft next year. It just blows my mind how they want to take a step backwards and do that. I mean, you and I talked about several times about Jared Goff, his ability to play, him just not paying attention what he's doing, not reading blitzes, closing his eyes and throwing the ball and hope for the best. I mean, I just don't understand that trade and why you want to give up your main draft picks if you're going to do a rebuilding season. So, I'm done with that subject. I just don't get that.
How can you expect him to read blitzes and study his playbook if he can't figure out, where the sun rises and sets. So
Exactly. So let's touch about a little bit on Russell Wilson real quick. He's still wanting he still wants to go somewhere. Now, Dallas may be out of the subject now, but his other teams were Chicago, which kind of interests me on that. Why would you want to go to Chicago? Maybe, because they have a better defense over there. Maybe. Well, Allen Robinson got tagged, franchise tag, but he's not going to be happy because I don't think he actually wants to play in Chicago anymore. But if he gets Russell Wilson over there, then he'll be probably happy with that. But
So Scott, the reason Allen Robinson wouldn't be happy with that is because the guy's never really been paid. He comes out and has an amazing rookie season, and then goes down and gets hurt. Misses 2 years? The Jacksonville lets him go. Then he has to go prove himself in Chicago. Well, he's done that. He did that.
Yep.
He's on the last year of his contract, on a prove-it contract where it's very team-friendly. He says, okay, I proved it. Pay me.
And they won't.
No. He's got only maybe 4 years left in him. He needs to get a contract now, and that's the problem.
I agree with you. That man does need to be paid. He's a great wide receiver. He's proved it time and time again. Pay the guy. Pay him what he deserves. If not, let him go. Let him go somewhere that somebody's going to use him and going to pay him the money that he deserves. But
Miami will take him.
Miami will take him. And that's something we're going to talk about here in a little bit as well. But going back to Russell Wilson, what do you think? Do you think he's going to get a trade? Maybe not this year, but maybe soon?
So the crazy thing about all this is Russell Wilson hasn't said it himself. It's been his agents. It's been, we hear Russell Wilson's unhappy. Now it's coming from Russell Wilson, but it's never came out of his mouth. It was never tweeted by Russell Wilson. So he may be able to save a little face, but he wants out. The quote unquote Russell Wilson saying that the line wasn't good enough. Yeah, I'm sure he did say that. Now it didn't come exactly from his mouth, but he definitely said it, and it's true. Everybody knows this. They haven't, they're patched. They've been patchworking that line for the past 4 years. Just throwing anybody in there who can stand there and hopefully block a guy for 3 seconds. And it's not working.
Exactly. And, Seattle not signing Chris Carson, where do you think he's going to wind up going?
I don't know about Chris Carson. Maybe Arizona. That would be interesting. Chris Carson's been a good back, but man, those injury concerns, every year it's something with him, and he always finds his way back on the field, but he always finds his way back into the medical tent too.
That's true too.
The problem with guys like him, he's solid, but just like most of these NFL teams, you can get a running back. They're a dime a dozen. Maybe they draft a 3rd or 4th round guy that can do the same thing. And that's why these teams don't want to pay these running backs, anymore. So,
well, I know one team likes to pay their running back, but
and look where it got them.
Exactly. Cameron, what do you think about Russell Wilson? Do you think he's going to wind up going to a team, or he's just going to sit there and play in Seattle this year?
I think he's going to stay put in Seattle, guys. There's no way he could go anywhere. But it'd be considering if he could go somewhere that we need help, probably like maybe Miami or something like. I don't want to put the Bengals in there because I don't want to. If I was Russell Wilson, I would never go to the Bengals. I would never play with them.
No, they got their future. They got their future quarterback over there.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Why I'm just saying, if Russell Wilson goes to anywhere, if he stays in Seattle, retires in Seattle, that's great. But I mean, if he can find somewhere he could like a different team, I mean, he could go to let's say I'm a man here. Let's go let's say not Tampa Bay, but let's go let's say Miami. And if he finds a place in Miami he likes, then he can go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Polk.
You know where I'd love to see him go, though? And it won't happen probably in a million years, but I'd love to see him in San Fran.
I do too. Just put a FU to Seattle on that. I think that he would probably do really well over there. And let's look at it this way, guys. They're not happy with Jimmy G. Surprise, surprise. And guess who the talk may be coming back over there because Washington released Alex Smith. There has been talks of him being possibly the backup quarterback at San Francisco.
You mean the starter, right?
Yes, and we know this is a starter. But, I mean, how funny would that be of Alex Smith going back to San Francisco and taking his old job back over there?
I'd love to see it. Jimmy G is not the guy. I never thought he was the guy. He misses too many passes that shouldn't be missed. You know, they've really gimmicked that offense, and it's worked. But you got to get a quarterback who can get the ball down the field. Alex Smith can do that. He can hit anybody within 15 yards. He's great at dump off passes. So I think it would be a great fit.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that brings me my point, and we're going to jump on to the NFC East real quick. So as of right now, on paper, since Dak was signed, Dallas looks like they could win the division over there. Okay? But starting in Philadelphia, you're starting your now going to be your second year quarterback over there. They let Deshaun Jackson go. No surprise there. You knew that was going to happen. I believe Alshon Jeffries won't be there next year. So who they got to throw to? Possibly their new wide receiver. They're going to get in the draft. That's probably their main focus. But who are you going to throw over there in Philadelphia? And then you got the Giants who let Golden Tate go, which Polk and I talked about him. And, you got Sterling Shepard and you got stone feather hands Evan Ingram over there who can't hold on to a ball, which could be a potential great tight end if he just holds on to the ball. But who do you got over there? You don't have anybody. And then Washington. Who's their quarterback now? I mean, they don't have anybody. So why let Alex Smith go? He was your guy. Are you afraid that he's going to get hurt again? Or are you just like, we're just going to take our chances in the draft? So what do you think, guys?
Well, so Washington, I'm all aboard the Heineke train. I love Tyler Heineke. I love what he did in that playoff game. He was raw. He ran the ball. He threw the ball well. For someone that wasn't, practicing football at the beginning of the year, I think he did great. If you're looking to rebuild and you're working on that, Heineke's fine. He's definitely he may be a step down from Alex Smith, but Alex Smith is older. Let this young guy try to get some reps and see what he's got. He could be the future, and at least give him a year. If not, you can go and draft somebody next year.
But if he's your future, which I'm okay with, why would you let Alex Smith go? Why wouldn't you just re-sign him for a year and say, hey, you know what? We're going to put you as a backup. Something happens, you're going to be in. Why would you let a veteran quarterback like him go?
Why would you pay Alex Smith? Like you said it yourself, to be a backup. you can have a backup. You can pay a backup the league minimum $100,000 and have some guy. Why does it have to be Alex Smith? If you're going full force with Henneke, go full force with Henneke. And if he goes down or he doesn't play the way he wants, either way, that you got to go draft a quarterback. Even with Alex Smith, maybe that buys you a year to maybe make playoffs, and then your draft picking isn't that well, or he wins some games and you don't get to pick that well, and you still need a quarterback in the end.
That's true. So, what do you think about Philadelphia's situation?
It's going to be Jalen Hurts. It has to be right. He definitely made some rookie decisions. You've seen it, but everybody loves a quarterback that can run the ball. He can run the ball. So I kind of no team wants to tank, but I kind of see the same thing. They're missing a lot of skill pieces. They're missing Jalen Hurts only has 1 year in, so he's the only receiver that they got that's worth anything. So they need receivers. They either got to get them in the free agency or the draft, and then they need a couple offense, like some tackles. Maybe I don't know if Sanders is the guy running back. He does well, but he's more of a third down back. So you definitely need some skilled position players, and then same on the defense. So I don't say you tank, but throw him out there, see how the year goes.
Yeah.
He does well, great. He don't, you know that you need to get a quarterback, and it gives you a little bit better draft to get some of these other skill players, maybe a quarterback or whatever else you need.
Absolutely. Great point on that. Zach Ertz, Philadelphia did not re-sign him. He's free agent, didn't tag him. Are they going to re-sign him? If not, what do you think he's going to wind up at?
Tight ends are definitely in need in the NFL. You got a few elite ones, and then everybody else is kind of there. So he was elite in the past. I don't know if he still has it, but from what I understand, they're trying to trade him, and they're wanting a third and a fourth, which teams right now aren't willing to pay. He's upset with the organization because he wants an answer. He wants to get out of there. It hadn't happened yet, so I don't know.
Isolating, and it's stressing me out. Different visions, contradictions. Why won't you let me out? I need a way to separate you. And I promise you that I'll make sure you never forget me.
Hello, guys, to the Cameron Summer Show. Today is another special edition of the Cameron Summer Show. Last week, you've been hearing some free agencies, and this week, we're continuing free agencies. Scott Doyle is back. Hannibal was supposed to be on tonight, but he had some stuff to do at this moment. So tonight, we're going to talk about free agencies, unusual free agencies that's been unusually been going on for weeks. We did talk about Ryan Fitzmagic. He went on with the Washington team. I don't know why, but they need a team. They need something going on here. But some
Cameron, that's going to be a good pickup for them, anyways. They needed a strong veteran quarterback. Not sure why they let Alex Smith go. I guess they don't really want to pay that contract for him. But picking up Fitzmagic, might help out that team a lot. So I thought it was a good pickup by the Redskins on that one.
Yeah, and here's some more things we can talk about, Scott. Hey, Will Fuller went to the Dolphins, big 8-year contract, about like $140 million. Is that makes him the top wide receiver right now for the Miami Dolphins for Tua Tagovailoa right now?
Well, honestly, Will Fuller is a great wide receiver when he's healthy. But does it make him the top wide receiver right now? You still got Devontae Parker over there, which is going to help him out tremendously. you know, depending on what the Dolphins are going to do, are they going to go back into the draft and get them another quarterback? You know, it's hard to say at this point, but we'll talk about that a little bit more on our 32 teams there. But it with like I said, Will Fuller's got the speed. He looked great last year. You thought he was going to have a 16 game last year, but wind up with being suspended for the last part of the season there. They did pick him up. I think it's going to help him out, but is Tua going to be the guy, and can they utilize Will Fuller the way they should? Again, you have Preston over there as well. I think Preston's going to be more. You're going to see him more this year, and Devontae Parker as well. So it should be interesting over there. And going on to next, Raiders signed ex-Cardinal running back Kenyon Drake for a 2-year deal, up to 14.5 guaranteed, $11 million. How's that going to help them out? You say, well, it's going to help them out tremendously on that offense over there. They need to, get off the pressure of Derek Carr a little bit. I think they're going to have that 1-2 punch, with kind of like with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt in Cleveland. This should help out, just in case their running back, gets hurt. So, I think that's a great pickup on their end. What do you think, Cam?
Yeah, what a great pickup for Kenyon Drake went to the Raiders. That's going to be an interesting fantasy football for sure. I don't know whether they want to start with Josh Jacobs first or they're going to start with Kenyon Drake first. It's going to be.
Well, I think Josh Jacobs still going to be the number one guy, but Kenyon Drake, they can utilize him a little bit more, use him, on a third down situation, or use him on the goal line type thing. Maybe use him as a screenplay. But it definitely, they got a boost in the arm in the offense over there at the Raiders.
Okay, so let me ask this question for you, Scott. Here's the thing. I know you like. Nobody doesn't like Mitch Trubisky. He's not with the Bears anymore. He went with the Bills. How that's going to affect Josh Allen? I understand Josh Allen is your number one QB. With Mitch Trubisky in behind Josh Allen, how this is going to affect his starting outlook?
It's not. It's Josh Allen's still going to be the guy out there. He proved it this last season, take him to the playoffs for the first time since 1995. Mitch Trubisky there is just a backup, a solid. He's going to be a solid backup for that team. Yes, he didn't do well. In the beginning of last season with the Bears, came back, looked really well. But that it's just a backup. Just in case somebody gets hurt over there. If Josh Allen gets hurt, that they'll have Mitchell Trubisky there. So I don't see anything happening. And also, the Bears did pick up last year's backup quarterback Andy Dalton. He could be the potential starter for the Bears next year. So we'll see how that goes. It'll be pretty interesting over there.
Yeah, I like Jared Cook going to the Chargers. This is going to be an interesting tight end scenario. You went and got Hunter Henry. He will be part ways with the Chargers. Now you got Jared Cook coming in for a 1-year deal. This would help Justin Hubert's fantasy pretty much, would it, Scott? With Jared Cook, long arms and tallness, do you think that's going to help him the next season?
I think I think it will be. Jared Cook is still a great tight end. It was Drew Brees' guy. along with Michael Thomas and Kamara over there. I think Justin Herbert's going to utilize them a lot more than he did with Henry over there. I mean, I think it's a great pickup for them. Losing Hunter Henry, again, Hunter Henry and Jonas Smith going to England over there. That I think they're going to try to do the combo again with two tight ends, like they did with Gronk and Hernandez when they were there. It's going to be interesting because Cam Newton is a guy that had Greg Olsen when he was with the Panthers, used him a lot, but there was times that Cam, he ran it in, but almost made it in, which you had Greg Olsen open by himself over there. Is he going to connect with those two guys in the offseason? And is he going to utilize them as a quarterback? Because he needs to. And, is the Patriots going to go in the draft and get him a wide receiver? I'm sure they will. Will it be in the first rounds? Probably not, because, Bill Belichick, he's a guy that finds people, in the later rounds. So, you still got Edelman over there as your number one wide receiver over there. It's going to be interesting. Are these guys going to make a comeback, make the playoffs? Possible. I don't see them being the top people, like they used to be over there. They're going to be probably, squeaking into the playoffs some way, somehow over there. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to go on over there. And as for Justin Hubert, I mean, he just got another weapon. Jared Cook is, I think he landed himself a wonderful spot. Just like Phillip Rivers, man, he relied on Antonio Gates over there a lot when he was playing. And now Justin Hubert, he's got a guy that probably will be his guy, Allen, and the two running backs over there. So it should be interesting though. But there's some defensive news as well. Cowboys announced they agreed to deal with Carl Watkins from Houston to help out with their defensive line over there. I think it's a decent pickup over there. I'm hoping that Dallas will look a little bit more for pickup or in a trade for defense. So also Patrick Peterson agreed to a 1-year deal for $10 million for the Vikings. That's an interesting situation there. So you just got J.J. Watt over there, and you let Patrick Peterson go. Cam, is that a big blow to the Arizona Cardinals?
Yeah.
And is that going to help out the Vikings with their defense? Because their defense wasn't great at all last year.
No, I mean, look what they lost a few players on that team, and now you gotta go to the draft and get some fresh rookies, to fill that void, Scott. I mean, then y'all lost another guy, corner. You lost the Bengals signed Rouzier and Hilton to the Bengals, so that makes the Bengals defense a little bit more better now than last.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was behind like 32 teams.
Yeah.
And they couldn't sack anybody. Now you bring in Rouzier back coming into the Bengals. That's what now you got another weapon in there. Now your defense will be a little bit more better than it was. Maybe. What was the last time the Bengals defense was that good back when they were going to the Super Bowl? I guess that's how long it's been.
Way back then. Yeah. Them picking up a Rouzier from the Cowboys, and don't get me wrong, Rouzier had some highlight moments with the Cowboys, but if he gets juked, there's no way Rouzier is going to catch up with that guy and try to deflect it or make a play or something over there. But it's not a bad pickup for the Bengals over there, so it'll definitely help out with their defense over there. And also, the Cowboys did re-sign Jordan Lewis for a 3-year deal up to $16.5 million, which is a great pickup there. $8 million guarantee for him. So that's pretty nice. AJ Green, no longer a Bengal. He is now an Arizona Cardinal. He's going to be going, with DeAndre Hopkins there. So that actually in the offense is going to really help out that offense and take off a little bit of pressure. Yeah.
Hey, and that makes two big weapons, and that'd be two big weapons, and it's going to be one of those things that you're going to have to see a lot of fantasy points with those two guys coming.
Yeah. So, like I said, AJ Green, coming back last year, didn't really have that, comeback feel for him. He towards the end, he was making a few touchdowns there, but I think, with the new team, new offense, especially having DeAndre Hopkins on the other side there, is he going to be that number 2 or is he going to be that number 3 guy? We'll see, but I see Arizona fixing to take over that division over there. They have done some wonderful pickups, but at the same time, hate to see Patrick Peterson leave the Cardinals over there because I think they would have really they're gonna be turning heads next year. So we'll see how that goes. Also, breaking news, this week, Deshaun Watson has been accused for inappropriate conduct he was getting a massage therapist apparently accused him, and also 2 other people came out this week. This is going to be interesting for Houston. So if something happens to Deshaun Watson, is he going to be suspended? Or, if they find him guilty, he still doesn't want to play in Houston. So is he going to sit out? That's one other deal. Potentially, trading him, that may have gone out the window. So at this point with Deshaun Watson, what do you think is going to happen to him with this allegations just popped up this week with him? What do you think is going to happen?
His stock's going down, you think? There's got to be
absolutely.
Yeah, if that happens, then who is your next quarterback if he has to go to court and get that settled? He may have to go, to a federal pen or somewhere down there, Scott. It's to the point the Houston Texans are in a big old, a big problem.
They have a big problem right now. They just lost their, number 2 wide receiver. Now you got Brandon Cooks. You got, they do have Mark Eman and David Johnson over there now. But who's going to be that starting quarterback if something happens to him over there? Polk and I discussed that last week. It's going to be quite interesting how that thing's going to turn out. And in Houston this year. Other news, 49ers and Trent Williams yesterday came to agree to a 6-year, $138 million deal, which makes Trent Williams the highest paid offensive line in NFL history there. So they got protection for whoever's going to be the quarterback over there, Jimmy G or whoever there. Jaguars picked up former Lions Marvin Jones Jr. agreed to a 2-year deal, $14.5 million, guaranteed 9.2. So having got a veteran wide receiver now over there, with Trevor Lawrence. Cameron, do you think Marvin Jones' stock is going up? Is that something you look for in your fantasy draft this coming year? He may not be your number one or number two or number three round, but you kind of want to have him somewhere in the mid rounds over there if your wide receivers are going quick. What's your opinion on that?
You got started without me?
Oh, hey, gorgeous.
Oh, Paul. Well, hello, buddy. Come on in.
Hey, sunshine.
Oh, hey there. So
Hello there.
I'll give you this question, Polk.
Shoot from the hip.
All right, Marvin Jones yesterday or Tuesday agreed a 2-year deal for the Jaguars. They're probably going to get Trevor Lawrence. His stock is it rising, or maybe we'll get him in later rounds?
I think Marvin Jones is one you can wait on. You've been able to wait on him with Matt Stafford for years. He's pretty touchdown dependent. His catches have actually decreased the past 2 years. Besides a 4 touchdown game last year, and then a 3 this year. He just don't do much for your fantasy team. He's even a guy you could probably pick up in the free agency if you're real.
Oh, there you go.
Wide receiver needy. So
also, Cowboys signed C.J. Godwin for a 2-year deal, $3.5 million, $2 million guarantee. Polk, what's your opinion on that?
Great special teams guy. He hadn't really excelled yet at corner, but he's definitely going to be a great addition to the second team. Adds a little speed to those special teams. So
awesome. Also, Jaguars signing Shaquille Griffin to a 3-year deal, $44.5 million, 29 guarantee. Shot in the arm for Jaguars, or we'll see.
I like the signing. It fills a definite hole that they've had at cornerbacks. I don't think he's one of those elite guys, but he will definitely be an improvement to that defense secondary.
We touched about it a little bit there. Fitzmagic going to the Washington no-name team there. What do you think about that? You think that's a good pickup?
I want to set the record straight. I love that they went with the Washington football team. It's really grown on me. As a Cowboys fan, I despise the Redskins. I actually don't mind the Washington football team. Maybe it's because they lose most of their games. They do better than us this year, but that's neither here nor there. You said
yes, I did.
He's going to be in competition. It seems like Fitzmagic's that guy that they bring in to battle with rookies. He always looks better, but in the end, he moves on to another team. So yeah, I think it's great. No one better to learn from than Fitzmagic. A journeyman that's still able to play the game of football at an elite level. So Heineke's definitely got someone that he should pick his brain.
We also touch a little bit as well. The Washington football team signed Curtis Samuels to a 3-year deal, $34.5 million. What do you think about that? I mean, that's a lot of money there. For a guy who really did do a lot of production when he was his former team. Other than he did have over 1,000 yards last year.
Yeah, that's an interesting signing. He's never been their number one, but they have their number one, Terry McLaurin. So I don't know. Barring the injury this year, he seems like a great gadget guy. Definitely got top end speed. So with Fitzmagic, he'll chunk the ball down the field. Maybe you can take the top off of a couple defenses with him. Maybe you use him in the run game like they did in Carolina. I don't know. I don't think he's a polished route runner, but speed kills, and maybe I think it will.
Scary Terry's rookie contract is coming up. So are they going to be able to re-sign him, or, what are they going to do?
I don't speak for the Washington Redskins, Washington football team's organization, but I would. That's a guy that has come in and dominated. I mean, being the only pass catcher that I consider decent on that team, and how he was able to still get open and still get the ball and do what he did last year. He's definitely someone I would try to retain on my team if I were them, they've got a lot of rookie, young contracts coming up. They're going to want to sign Chase Young. He's done phenomenal, things like that. But yeah, Terry is definitely a centerpiece in that offense that I would definitely try to retain.
One more question before we go on to our mock draft here. As you heard, the Red Rifle is no longer in Dallas. He is now in
He's a
Chicago. He is a starter in Chicago. They let go Trubisky. Trubisky got picked up for the Bills. What do you think with Andy Dalton being the starter over there now? Is he going to have a better success than he did with the Bengals at the Bears organization? Or do you think there's still going to be an 8?
When Andy Dalton had most of his success, he had A.J. Green in his prime. A.J. Green is a special type of talent, and Andy Dalton was able to utilize that. But over there in Chicago, you got Allen Robinson, who's a great route runner and got great hands. But he's getting what, he's at the 31 mark.
He's at the 30 mark. Yep.
Yeah. So at that mark, usually with receivers, you start to see a decline. Now the route runners and the hands, like Larry Fitz, they can kind of do it a little bit longer. You lose a step, but you don't lose grip in your fingers until you get the arthritis way down the line, or you get it at 34 at my age. But I really don't see. I see a lateral. I'm not saying Mitch was great. But, to me, it's just kind of a lateral. The guy was a backup last year. He wasn't even a starter. Now he did start games, but, no other team considered him a starter. And there was bad quarterback play throughout the league last year. So,
well, I said I had this to be the last one, but there is two quick ones for you. And Cameron and I discussed it real quick. A.J. Green is now Cardinal over there. How's that going to help you help Hopkins out and Colin Murray over there? Is he going to take off the pressure off them, or is he going to be like Fitz, just going to be there when they need him?
He showed a little bit last year. He's definitely not the same player that he used to be, but after being out for 2 years, who would be? I think it's going to help that offense. So, that's a weapon. That's another guy you need to cover. They have Christian Kirk, but Christian Kirk is definitely not the polished route runner, things like that. And I keep bringing this up because there's two things in the NFL to me. There's speed and then there's route running. You could be the slowest guy ever, Larry Fitz, and still get open because of the separation that you can create running those routes. So I actually like the signing. I think it's going to help D Hops. Now you're still going to double cover DeAndre Green, getting in those spaces, getting in the flats. He may not beat you over the top, but he'll do enough. And it's really going to help. It's going to open up that offense a little bit more.
Now I haven't heard yet. Is Fitzgerald? Is he retired now, or is he going to play another year since they got A.J. Green?
I think Fitz is under contract for another year.
Okay, so that should be a little interesting there in that offense this year. So last thing real quick before we get on to mock draft. Again, Cowboys, they don't have a backup quarterback. Alex Smith is still out there. Is somebody else better than him right this moment for a backup quarterback, and can we get that person and sign him? I don't rely on Cooper Rush, and they really don't rely on DiNucci. So in your opinion, who's the better backup quarterback? Who's the number one backup quarterback right now that we can go get?
There's a guy that I liked. I would have liked to see the Cowboys possibly sign Brissett. But unfortunately, he's already signed. I don't know. The guys that are out there, Alex Smith's out there. I wouldn't mind a veteran like that. Someone that they can help manage that goes down again. But you just paid Dak all that money. We've got other positions that we need. So I really wouldn't go out and get anybody. Honestly, I would probably roll with. I agree that Cooper Rush is definitely not the answer, but maybe save a couple million in your pocketbook and spend it elsewhere.
All right, Cam, you ready to do the mock draft?
How are we doing this, guys? I'm excited. This will be the first one of the new season for me.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. So, I mean, I could start it off and, pick my 32 teams real quick, just run down and, run down and, say what who I think. And then Cameron, you can go, Polk, you can go, and then we can ask questions later on. What do you think?
So we doing an actual mock draft, or are we doing
an actual mock draft? Yeah.
Okay.
So who wants to go first? I can go first. It doesn't matter.
Let's spin the bottle. Let's see what you got, Scott.
All right. So number one draft pick, everybody knows Jacksonville's probably going to get Trevor Lawrence. Number two, Polk, you and I talked about this last week. Is Sam Darnold going to stay? It sure doesn't look like it. I think they're going to go with quarterback Zach Wilson from BYU. He's been talked a lot lately. Coming up over there, I think Atlanta is going to jump up and take the Dolphins spot. I don't think Matt Ryan's going to be there much longer. So they're looking at quarterback Trey Lance. I still think they should get Justin Fields there. Miami's probably going to go get a wide receiver. I know they already got Fuller, but I think they're going to get the LSU prospect Jamar Chase. This guy did some numbers last year. I really like him. I think he's going to be a good fit over there in Miami. Cincinnati, they definitely got to get offensive line, to protect Joey Burrow over there. So I think they're going to go with Oregon's. He looks really, really good. Big guy. If they don't go that way, it's a possibility they could go with tight end Kyle Pitts or wide receiver Jalen Waddle from Alabama, or the Heisman winner from Alabama, Devontae Smith. It's hard to pass on those guys there, but if they want to think about their future and their quarterback, they definitely got to get a offensive line on there. Carolina Panthers. I don't think they're set with Teddy Bridgewater. I do have Justin Fields coming in there, but we can see. We'll see what happens over there. Detroit. I see Jalen Watson probably going over there after Kenny Galladay's gone and Marvin Jones gone. So they're on their 150th rebuild season over there. So why not give Jared Goff some kind of weapon over there? Philadelphia, you think they would be going for wide receivers? No, I don't think they are. They're going to be losing Zach Ertz. They're trying to trade them off. So they should go for Florida's Kyle Pitts over there. The guy.
Goddard.
I'm sorry. Do what?
Goddard.
Yeah.
You
Dallas.
think they're going to go for 2 tight ends?
Yeah, they're gonna no. They're gonna trade away. They're wanting to trade away for Zach Ertz, so they'll pick up another tight end to pick him up. So, Denver. I mean, it's obvious they got to have an offense line, or they're gonna wind up getting their 4th string quarterback from from the streets there. So Rashard Slater, Northwestern. That guy is a beast. He's like 6'6", 300 pounds, and just moves pretty quick over there. Dallas, I think they're going to go and get him another corner since they lost Awuzie. I like Alabama's cornerback, Patrick, really well, compliment Trayvon Diggs over there. Giants. They got to have some offensive weapons. I mean, nobody wants to step it up other than Sterling Shepard every now and then. Got to get some help with Daniel Jones, and Saquon coming back over there. So the Heisman winner should be going over there, DeVonta Smith. New England's going to be going up in a draft. 49ers. I think their possibility. 49ers should be trading up. Sorry, should be getting up a quarterback. I think they're going to look at Mac Jones, Alabama over there. I mean, come on. Polk, you and I talk about Jimmy G not being good over there. I think it's time to look for a quarterback over there as well. Los Angeles to help out a little bit with that offensive line. They're going to get them a tackle, Christian Deshaun from Virginia Tech. He's a hell of a run blocker there. He's a number 2 pass blocking in football last year, so that should help their line out. Next, Minnesota. Look, they need some defensive help. I mean, they were just as worse as the Dallas Cowboys. They lost their edge defender Yannick. So picking up Kuwiti Pay for Michigan, it should do really well with them over there. Also, San Francisco looks like to be in this pick as well on the number 15. Losing Richard Sherman to free agency. They need to get another corner over there. So I think they should pick up Caleb Furley from Virginia Tech over there. This guy is a 6'2", 207-pound guy that can reach up and make some plays there. He was 11th in all college last year, making plays. So Arizona, they need some help to help out on their offensive line over there as well. Help Kyler Murray. So I think they need to get a guard, and it'd be a good one there. Ali Vera Tucker from USC. They lost their left tackle DJ Humphreys, so I think picking this guy would be pretty good over there. Vegas, I think they're going to go for defense still more over there. Michael Pierce from Penn State, I think he was going to land on that spot. Someone John Gruden's looking for. He's a defensive guy, so I think Michael Pierce might be fitting really well over there. If Michael Pierce, I also think Miami should pick him up as well. But if he goes before them, they need to pick up Notre Dame prospect Jeremiah. Not going to pronounce his last name there because I'll butcher it. But I think they'll be really well since they lost McKinney to Houston. They definitely need a linebacker over there. The Washington football team looks, in my opinion, I think they're going to get another wide receiver. They need to just to help that void out a little bit over there. And plus, now you got Fitzmagic over there. Rashad Bateman from Minnesota. I think he'll be a really, really good X factor for them. The guy can, run a 40 at 4.40. So maybe him and Scary Terry, just ballot it out over there. But I think that'd be a good pickup. They'll have some speed over there now in Washington. Chicago, definitely, they also need offensive help. So they should be picking up Oklahoma State. Tevin Jenkins, his block is a 93.6 blocking grade, third best in the country. It should help David Montgomery just big time over there next year if they pick him. Indianapolis, edge rusher Gregory Rossi from Miami. This guy, I wish Dallas would be picking him up. He's a 6'7" frame dude. He had 15 and a half sacks his rookie year. This guy's got some phenomenal speed. He just, if Dallas would pick him up, in the early round, it would hurt my feelings any as well. But Indianapolis needs somebody over there for sure with their defense. Tennessee looks like they do need some defensive help as well. So I grade edge rusher over there, Azia Holuria. I'm sorry if I butchered your last name. I apologize. But they're losing Vic Beasley and all those, and Javon Clowney, getting hurt. If Javon Clowney comes back, having this guy on the other side there, man, it's going to be very, very nasty over there on that defense. Jets, getting that pick from the Seahawks. Definitely they need, Jameson Crowder maybe leaving over there. Definitely need to pick up a wide receiver. So I got Kadarius Toney from Florida. Definitely this guy's the shifty wide receiver that they probably need. He had the eighth most wide receiver yards in college football last year. He's going to be pretty good if they pick him up over there. Pittsburgh, God, they need offensive line help over there. I believe this is probably going to be Big Ben's last year. He hasn't come out yet saying it, but I think it's going to be his last year. If they're going to go for a Super Bowl, they definitely got to pick up a tackle. So Sam Cosmi for Texas, I think it would be a great fit over there for him. He had a 90.7 passing blocking last year. That ranks him third to most of all college football teams last year. He should be looking great coming off of there. Jaguars, defensive end Christian Bamar from Alabama. Urban Myers, man, he wants to build that defense up over there at Jaguars. So this will be a good pickup for him over there if they can get him. Cleveland Browns edge rusher. They got to have some more defense over there. He had a great season up to his week 17. He did have Oliver Vernon had suffering a injury, Achilles injury last year. So this could they definitely need somebody over there to help out with that defense with Myles Garrett over there. So Jason Owen from Penn State should be a great pickup for them. Baltimore, they're going to pick up. They're going to go on with more defense over there. Picking up, I think they should pick up TCU prospect Trevor Morin. This guy is like a Earl Thomas, as they were saying. Very, very quick, very strong. He had 12 passing breakups last year, led the country in football on that. So that should be a great pickup for him for safety over there. New Orleans, definitely they need a linebacker over there. So I'm going with Zavon Collins from Tulsa. Green Bay, you think they need wide receivers? No. Their coach said we need more defensive players. So he feels comfortable with their offense over there, re-signing Aaron Jones. They think they have the wide receiver core that they need over there. So I said, okay, well, let's just go ahead and go get linebacker Nick Bolton from Missouri there. He's got a dynamic sideline athlete. He opposing wide receivers. They said this guy scares the wide receivers when they go against him, because when they see him coming, he's like a freight train. Buffalo Bills, cornerback Greg Newsome II from Northwestern. They do need a little help from over there. He had a big impact with Justin Fields in that championship game. So definitely, not championship, one of their games last year. So he's going to be a great pickup if they get him. Kansas City definitely needs a tackle. They let their 2 tackles go last week. So they definitely need to pick up Dylan from North Dakota State over there. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they should be picking up. They need an edge rusher over there with Jalen Phillips, because they need more defense over there. Why not? With Jason Pierre-Paul, he is getting up in age, and he's missing some fingers over there. So he's 32 years old. This would be a great pickup for them, and getting this guy at the late round. Why not pick him up? Because you never know. Jason Pierre-Paul, may get hurt, and they might let him go. He'll be a great pickup over there. So that's my 32 teams there. Polk, who you got, buddy?
Oh man, it's the draft. I really enjoy just watching it. I agree with a lot of that. Yeah, I'd like to see Patrick Surtain over there in Dallas. I think he's going to go, and then the quarterbacks. We'll see. We'll see who thinks they need a QB. We'll see if Wilson still gets dealt, even though the Seahawks are saying they're not trading him. I still think, things are in motion. They just, I don't know, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting draft, and that's about what I have prepared for that. I actually I thought it was going to be a fantasy mock draft. So,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's okay. That's okay. No, I was doing mock draft picks. I thought we were doing that. So, but hey, I'm down to do a fantasy draft. If that's what you want to do, we can always do that.
I don't know. I don't pretend to try to guess at the actual draft. There's definitely needs that I want to see players go to certain teams, but
mock? Is that what you said you want to do?
Yeah, that's what I thought was going on.
Oh, okay. Well, there's always next time for that. I'm definitely in for that.
Yeah, that's why I was a little confused when you said you were going to go through those 32 teams, and I was like, what? Like 6 allegations now.
Oh, it's 6. Yeah. Yeah. I heard 3 earlier today, so now it's 6. Wow.
Yeah, apparently he exposed. It's weird that it happened when it did.
Yeah.
He tells the teams trade me. I'm not going to play. Teams signed Tyrod, and then 6 allegations. It's not 1, it's not 2. Hopefully it's not a habitual thing.
I hope it's not. No, kind of like happened to him. I don't know, man. I just don't see it from this guy. But behind the scenes, we don't know. But as a football player, as a player that he's a smart guy. You just, I just don't see him doing the behind the scenes over there that you don't know about a player until things start coming out.
Right, and that's what that's what I thought was because I don't want to talk about this too much. I don't want to pretend to know like I know anything about the situation or whatever, but I'd like to think that a young football star like Deshaun Watson could walk into any club and potentially meet any woman he liked.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're in Texas, so it's loud trucks and everything. So it's weird to me that he would go to massage parlors and do that, but weirder things happen
about that, and all of a sudden that came out pretty quick. So
apparently he liked a really old woman. So
yeah. So I mean, if you want to do a fantasy mock draft, we can do one real quick. It's okay by me.
Yeah, it take me a second to get set up. We're kind of torn down, but that's what I was kind of trying to figure out how we were going to do this. Because again, that's why I just thought that's what we're doing.
My bad, man. I guess I should.
I'm just, I'm so geared towards fantasy and it's just the winner mentality,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're the champ. I understand. I get it.
Yeah. It never gets old when you say that.
I know. Don't worry. I will be the champ this year. So.
Did you quit my league or?
No.
Okay.
No. I didn't quit your league or anything like that. If you ain't first, you're last. As a great person told me that one time. So, Cam, are you in for a fantasy mock draft real quick?
Sure, bring on, guys.
Still might be out. So how to set up a fantasy football league. Guys, there's a few things that I just want to touch base with real quick. Me and Scott have been in the same league for Scott, what, 10 years?
About 10 years, yep. Polk, go back with that real quick, and then we'll jump on that mock draft real quick.
Okay. So, guys, what I would suggest, man, one of the best things about fantasy is being able to talk to and play with people you love. They need to be knowledgeable of football, but it's a fun competition.